I restarted it right now.
What time are you at?
53:50. As now we see Zerat coming in. He will get deleted from the Baja Blast lever after being taunted up by Theatrics. And now, Gimme Dad Ace is on the way.
What about right now, Dylan?
I'm at 54:09 as now Gimme That Ace is chasing Gurk 5 into their base. Now Fleeing Panda is going to drop a huge bullet time coming across. Will it take down? It will, in fact, take down Gimme That, or Clap That Ass. Baja Blast Lever taking it incredibly low as Jiramoose goes in, trying to get that damage off. But now It's a Bison is in the last stand with Dr. Bolamundo and Fleeing Panda. The hook barely missing out as Baja Blast Lever presses forward looking for. It's a Bison actually flashing forward and taking down Theatrics. This game is still not over somehow.
God damn it, I might be out of $10. That's the only line.
This game is nuts. This is awesome.
We've gone you boys, like literally.
It's a point for a goal lead again. We're right back where we were.
What's the longest game in PMA LCS history?
Oh my God.
Is it? I don't actually know.
Yo, if we hit 40 viewers, I will donate a mystery skin.
No, don't mystery skin it. Give it to me. I'm about to spend 10 days. Okay?
Hey, I'd like to give it to the people here right now.
We've all been here for this 60 minutes.
That's why you're investing.
This is an awful idea.
Mystery skin.
Your moose attack the dragon.
Wow, this stream is super laggy. I have no idea.
Oh!
He goes in with the hook. Oh, red team does take that Elder Dragon. Jiramoose is now stuck by the Assault and Battery. He will get his GA popped and he will promptly get deleted after. Oh, he almost makes it out. And Jiramoose, It's a Bison continuing to be legendary on this Misfortune. What a massive
70-second death timer on Ezreal.
This is easily the best performance
like
It's a Bison. This is easily the best performance It's a Bison has ever put up in an LCS game.
It only took him an hour to learn how to play Misfortune.
Shit. Shit.
It's a meme.
Let not the fire of your tongue.
Oh my God! No, please stop. No, that's a meme for the Medios. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, PMA. Bison challenging. Thank you so much.
Now Clap That Ass. Garfield is getting a little ahead of himself. Clap That Ass is going to take a shroom, but he does have. Oh, he's going to get slowed from the gunblade as Dr. Bowman is chasing forward. Will the Burn get him? Burn will take down Clap That Ass. Dr. Bowman on killing spree. Huge bullet time coming out. He's going to do substantial damage to Garfield Juice and Theatrics as now Seaman gets annihilated in the backline and he goes down. But all for what? Baja Blast Lover also goes down as well as Garfield Juice. And now Gurk 5 has 3 members up against the sole defender of Theatrics, Jiramoose shortly to follow. But can the two of them hold out against this massive Misfortune buy combination here with Fleeing Panda?
Speedy Rammers.
Speedy Rammers! We're getting a Speedy.
They're gonna lose an inhib tower. Or a Nexus tower.
Oh my God! Speedy Rammers!
Speedy Rammers, he's coming in. It's a Bison. Will he get his? He does get the GA prop. Where was Zurak? But now he finally comes in with the Assault and Battery. Jiramoose does go down. Theatrics is going to try to pick this up on the backside. But It's a Bison is just barely staying alive. Shields coming out from Thresh are going to save It's a Bison. And the Winions. Oh, the Winions are going to look for the base. Can the Winions get this? It's all. Is this going to be it? Will this be all over? They're trying to recall. No, they're trying to finish it. Oh, can they make it? Will the Winions get it? Garfield Juice does have teleport in 13 seconds. He might be able to end the game if they do not finish it fast enough. It's a Bison and Zark are going to try to take it, but the tower backdoor defense is up. Here comes Clap That Ass. The Winions are still at the Nexus. What is going to be done? What is going on? What is this? Here comes the teleport. Garfield Juice is going for it. He's going for it, guys. He's going to try to end the game. He does get stunned up. He does get locked down. He is airborne. He is stunned. Can he do it? Can the maiden? He does it. Garfield Juice takes it for Gimme That Ace in a 58-minute long clown fiesta. Winions win the game again. And the Syato special again prevailing in the end. Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
That game was fucking crazy.
I don't have to donate $10. Oh my God.
What was the final time?
It was
58 minutes, 11 seconds. Alright, whoever sets up that MVP poll, remember to put in Winions. Please.
Woo.
Holy shit. What a game.
someone get damage stats too, because they're gonna be like as much as gold as Ezreal had the first one. Right.
I'm so glad I decided to cast this game.
Same.
All right,
Oh my
I
God,
think
that was
that's all I
crazy.
never.
I
We
think
have
my neighbors
Sebastian.
hate me now too because I was all about this
Sebastian
game.
says he's quitting League after watching this game.
Oh, you already started it? Oh, Rich.
Whew. Yes, Winions are on there.
Oh my god. Okay, so analysis, guys. Why do you think they won this?
I don't know how anybody did
You
anything
ran
this game.
Oh my god. Waifu now, you're still in here? Hello?
That game was crazy. That
Oh
game was
my.
just craziness.
Okay, so let's actually talk about MVP votes. We'll go down the line. Who do you give it to and why?
Speedy Ramis. 100%. He carried the mid game.
I don't think there's any question you'd give it to anyone other than Speedy Ramis. He was the only one that was like doing anything for the first 10, 15
Half of the
minutes.
game.
He had what, 9 out of the 10 first kills of the game?
Something like that.
I mean,
Yeah, he
without him, they would have been screwed in the early game. I mean, obviously the rest of the team, you know, kind of pulled it together late game, but I mean, they wouldn't have been there without his speediness. Sure, it's sometimes his speediness was a little much.
I
Too
just
speedy.
Okay, so and then who do you got, Dill?
I'm gonna have to give it, honestly, to Garfield Juice on that York. He applied the sideline pressure they needed at the perfect times. Like, he was always in that sideline taking towers while things were happening across the map. There was only one time that he may have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but all of Gerg 5 collapsed, and it got his team a Baron. It got his team set up around the Baron. Actually, I think that was when the Baron steal happened.
Yes, it was.
So
when
it
the
could have
Baron
easily
called.
gotten. It should have gotten them a free Baron.
I just saw something on chat. Fleeing Panda placed 96 wards.
Okay, that's not enough. That's barely 2 a minute.
That's 1.5 words per minute.
Panda's gonna be
my
by
God.
far the top of Ward's place this week.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
you want to bet? My next game, I'm just gonna spam wards and beat. No, I'm kidding. No, you gotta. Okay, no memes aside, but the Winions did more damage to the Nexus than anybody, so that's the way you win the game. But you have to give it to Theatrics, in my opinion. Like, you actually have.
So far, it is Winions with 8, and then Theatrics and Garfield Juice tied with 6.
So I think based on casters voting, that means that Theatrics with the Speedy Ramus will
We can
be our
just make it
MVP
a
so
tie,
far.
dude. I'm fine with this one being a tie.
No, I'm not making a tie because one, we can't have Winions come and do an interview. So.
A tie between Theatrics and Garfield Juice.
Oh, that tie. Wait, who voted? No offense, but who voted for Viegar?
I don't know.
Probably
In chat.
Baja Blast Lover.
Wow, I think
Damn.
Baja had some pretty good plays.
Yeah,
Destroyed the
did a lot of work
carries.
on these
Actually, Labby wants us to interview with the Winions.
fights.
Let's get on the rip, boys. Where's our
Our field
Oh,
correspondent.
yeah, can we get our minion
shopkeeper?
They all look like iBoy just staring at the camera.
Alright. If you're a player of the game, get in that channel so we can interview and go to bed.
I think it was C-Man from game 1.
Alright,
Pretty
Chris,
sure.
jump
I
in
don't
that
remember.
Yeah,
channel.
it was
way too
C-Man.
long ago.
Steven for game 1, and then Theatrics and
Theatrics
Winions.
and Garfield Juice game 2.
Winions. And
Actually, Theatrics has taken an extra vote, so it's just gonna be Theatrics.
Somebody kicked the Will Brooks out of player. of the game
C-Van in
interviews.
chat. Can someone message C-Van
I
on
just messaged C-Van.
Origins?
On League.
all right, we'll go on the player of the game interviews right now. Oh wait, no,
Actually, they can
Wait
vote
for them to
the
get there.
casters.
Or
Oh,
they
yeah,
can just
right
come
here.
here.
Bison.
Bison's a captain, so
Yes.
let's get Adam.
Jesus Christ. First off, longest game of PMA LCS this season, back and forth, a random pause that DC'd the stream and made everyone go ape shit, and then we come back to Winions and then a 3-hit guard.
Welcome all to the player of the game interviews featuring.
Oh my player of the like week. How many games it was?
I don't know if last night's game with the pauses was even longer than this.
Right?
And that's saying something.
All right.
Tilted.
Questions? Do you guys have any ones you want to start off with? I got some.
Oh, I
Go
got
ahead,
a
Greg.
couple.
Go
But
ahead,
you
Greg.
first.
All right. So let's just talk about game number 2 here for a second. I just want to kind of like just get impressions. That's all I want to do is just get impressions. So I want to hear from the Speedy Ramus master himself, Adam. Just impressions on the overall game.
Well, it's like Dylan says, sometimes you just gotta go fast, man.
Anyone can appreciate going fast, I must say.
Dude, that was a clusterfuck, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. We got to the point in the end there where we were just like, wait, we lost. No, wait, they lost. No, wait, we lost.
I'm dying.
Chris?
Dude, I don't even know what to say. My brain is just in pain right now. It's just that was brutal.
Oh my freaking god.
That was a very intense game. I think it was our game to lose because we played. I don't know. We played pretty well, but team fights were very close. And I felt like we had the edge in team fights, and it was like we just had to kite the Ramus, and we did that for a while, but we just like couldn't end the game, and it was so frustrating. And then we tried to end it there. We were like, okay, we got this. Just like tank the towers. And then I saw the minions, so I was like, okay, one person needs to back. And then I knew the TP was going to come in at the end, but then I thought we could kill him faster. That was brutal.
Okay, I got a couple questions. My first one is, Adam, you did a very interesting play around maybe like the 40-minute mark or something, where you just ran into the top lane tower, but weren't doing anything while your team was clearing ward. And then your team got literally aced except for Garfield. What was that?
Okay, so let me explain this. So I'm trying to play tanks more to help my team, and everybody knows that when I'm not getting a lot of kills, I lose brain cells. So in that moment, I said, wait a second, I can just tank this tower and we can take it, guys. Let's go. And then I forgot that everybody moves about 4 times slower than me. So I just kind of rolled right into it, and I was like waiting there for them. And I was like, wait, maybe I'm here too long. And then we were dead. It was that fast.
You were literally just rolling. Like, you weren't even auto-attacking. You were still...
Oh, you realize that you can't auto-attack a tower if you're rolling, right?
No, that's...
Well, you can stop rolling.
That's what I'm asking you. Like, did you realize?
Oh yeah, I totally realized it, but I was just gonna keep going because sometimes you just gotta roll, man.
Okay. My other question is actually a little bit more serious because, like, while game 2 was crazy, the drafts from both games on the side of GDA left me a bit puzzled. But you kind of answered a little bit. Maybe you expand upon it from what you said about wanting to play more tanks to help your team out. Why do you feel like you need to do that, or what was your process going into both these games, and what adjustments were you making between game 1 draft to game 2?
All right. Well, first off, I'm comfortable playing tanks and support junglers if I have, like, for instance, in solo queue, I'm comfortable doing that because I know that every one of my lanes is diamond 2, or diamond like as well. That's not 2.
Gotcha.
So when everybody's playing at the same level, and I know that I can count on my damage dealers like to constantly make like the right plays and usually play their lanes properly, like I'm comfortable playing things that I can sit back and like help people with. Most of the time in the previous games in the splits, I felt like I've had to carry a little bit more. But when we were looking at the damage stats, Labby actually brought up to me that my mid laner and my ADC deal the most damage on our team, and I have like the 3rd most gold on the team, but I deal like almost the least damage usually. And so that caters better toward me playing something that can set up my damage dealers. So basically the thought process is like, if my guys are already dealing a lot of damage, then I should be enabling them more than I should be trying to like overtake them.
Okay, so if only to cut you off, you thought that it would be easier to change the way you draft for yourself as opposed to changing your play style, because what you're saying is like your play style is already that of like a heavy farmer jungler instead of one who's trying to carry, correct?
No, my playstyle is everything, but for this case, I am more willing to try playing tanks with this team as opposed to 9IT last split, because on 9IT I had more availability to carry, and this time we have carries that can carry, so that's why. No offense to my guys on 9IT last split, but just in terms of damage spread, like this time it's much more focused on my ADC and my mid laner than it was last split.
Okay.
There is a question from chat that I saw. Hang on, I gotta find it again. It was actually a decent one. Wasn't there?
How fast is too fast?
Oh yeah, that one. That's what I was looking at. So it was from Caleb. How fast is too fast? It is too fast. Fast enough. Obviously, it's for Adam.
Is too fast enough?
Well,
Never.
how fast is too fast? And is too fast enough?
Too fast is some speed that is not accessible in the game yet, and that's why you have to go Righteous Glory first item on Rammus so that you can really feel like the fastest boy in the game.
You could have picked Ghost.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mentally challenged though, so I'm not really trying to like.
Well, that turret
Oh,
play
snap.
top lane.
Yeah, actually though, my vision is god awful. Will, you're right.
No, I think what my biggest question, like you said you rushed Righteous Glory on Rammus this game. I felt like you should have done that in your previous game as Cho'Gath because you were trying to be the main initiator and the one who's starting fights for your team. And it just seemed like if you would have had that, a lot more clear engages would have happened for your team.
Yeah, I mean you're probably right, but sometimes you just gotta YOLO it, man. Like you're in game 2 of a series. You're just trying to make the game go as long as possible.
He was talking about game 1 with.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I know.
But I feel like the YOLOing it is the underline of this entire series. It seemed like on both sides there was a lot of miscommunication. Maybe Steven, you can talk about this as well. This is for both of y'all that, or Bison as well. I actually would like to hear from Bison as well. That on both sides it seems like there was a lot of half calls done by some people, whether it was like top lane jungle top synergy or like going in as 4-man instead of 5-man grouping. Can y'all talk to me about if y'all's comms were a little bit muddled or y'all just didn't know what to do?
Well, from the side of G5, it seems mostly fine, like in terms of macro calls. But then we were trying to play around like there were some other calls like trying to pick off players, or like we said there's like people that we thought we could catch out, and we would say like, oh, we can take a pick here. But then, like, one person would be too far ahead, or we'd be like a little slow in collapsing on it, and then we'd misplay it and like end up getting picked ourselves. And I think that was most of the problems. But like, obviously, the end of the last game, obviously, the macro was a little bit hard to.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, no one trains for 58-minute macro calls, so.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. So.
I mean, we made the call on that last one. They were telling us one person back, so. Adam Fresh went back. Maybe I should have backed, but I think the only other time that we really had like miscommunication was in the first game. Our first kind of attempt at Baron. We had saw 2 of them bot lane, so we said, okay, let's get Baron while there's 2 bot. And I think it was Viger popped up mid, and like half of us went for Viger, half of us went for Baron, and so I think that's really like the only time we've really had like missed calls. Is every once in a while we'll say, okay, let's do this, and then that person who said let's do this does something else. That's just, I think, maybe something that we need to work on, but it's not. It might look like we're disjointed, but it's not really as bad as you'd think.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam?
Yep.
Same question.
About our macro calls?
Yeah, it just seemed like, I mean, I can go to game 1 or multiple times in game 1 where it seemed like there was a call that was made and then one person backed off on it and then the other person kept going and then it ended up with either that person dying or both people dying.
Our team's already talked about this, so I can bring this up. Our first game, our problem was exactly what I talked about. All of our damage was on an Ezreal and a Veigar, and too often our tanks would make an engage with the intention of fighting, and the damage would not be all the way there to follow up, or it would just be too far away. there was a specific play that happened in mid lane where we got a good pick onto Leona by Baron Pit, and then we saw John show bot, so we knew that it was a good time to go for Baron, and I called the Baron, but Steven was a little too far behind us, and Sivan saw that and chunked him down to like a quarter health with Kog'Maw there, and so suddenly, in a scenario where we otherwise would have had like a pretty clean advantage for that Baron take, we were at a risk, and it ended up costing us there because then Steven ended up dying. So it was simple stuff like that. Like our damage dealers, basically they weren't able to focus their damage the way that they needed to because we were not all moving in the correct formation. So what I mean is like damage dealers should be in the middle of your team, not at the back of it, contrary to popular belief, unless you're like a Xerath and you can actually deal damage from all the way back there. But we wanted to be able to sandwich them and like have them protected so that when we saw an enemy, like the tanks saw them first, basically. But that wasn't what was happening the first game. The second game, our macro calls, I mean, weirdly enough, they actually got clearer the later the game went. We knew we had the Yorick split push threat. He had the Zrot portal and his Maiden, so that's always like going to be really hard to deal with. Ideally, the play there at the end was going to be to get a 4-1 going, but obviously I just rolled my way into that tower, so it didn't really go that way. And then things got all hectic like they did. So you all saw the result of that. But yeah, man. I mean, all in all, I was just doing my best to up my deaths on my KDA for the split, and and it went well in that regard.
Okay, there's actually.
I do have a pretty good question here, actually, from Labyrinth.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that Ezreal build the second game? Saying no Triforce and Death Dance, not necessarily what we wanted to go for, but just it was so like quad defensive, and Sean said something about on the cast where like there was a potential issue of not having enough damage for it.
I didn't actually notice the Death Stance until it was already completed. I didn't notice that was a component he was building. I did endorse the Gauntlet though when it was being built instead of the Triforce because the MF and Teemo, the first game, the Teemo was a big problem for Ezreal for us. And he was talking about that if the Teemo got to him, he was basically going to have to back every single time or he died. So the Iceborne was something that I thought was a good idea for him. We were already going to have Garrett on Yorick to kind of supply a little bit more damage pressure than we had the previous game, so I knew that we didn't have to have like as much focus on two separate people. And with the way I was trying to like speed around the map and help people out, except Garrett, I never got to get top, which I hated. I was trying to. Things kept happening bot. I know, Garrett, you're mad about that. You have a right to be mad about that.
Boy, it's okay. TPQQ, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, when did Jones get in here? What?
He's the minions.
Oh. I am Winions.
We are Winions. I commented on that during the cast. I thought the blue bill was smart as well, because in the Iceborne, because it allowed Ezreal and the rest of your team to kite from these people who wanted to like try to come in on you, like the Vi and the Thresh hooks. But also, if you were trying to like stop their backs and stuff, you'd be able to slow them down to allow Garfield to have even more time to split.
Yeah, I think that really at the end of the day, Reese's mentality there, if I understand it correctly, was simply that he knew that we were going so late, the death timers were super high, and he wanted to have as much healing as was reasonable in his kit. If I were playing that Ezreal, maybe I would have gone Bork if I was trying to have all that healing and still have like a thing to do. But he had a ton of gold at the end of the game. I guess that's what he wanted to sink it into.
Yeah, about 4.2 billion.
Speaking of which, did you catch at one point in game 1, Sean just says, "Wait, can you all look at Ezreal's gold?" And like literally on the spectate, it said he had 4 billion gold.
42 billion.
4.2 billion.
And we've lost our shit.
Wow. Okay, so we have the Winion top lane. We have the $42 billion man. The Speedy Rammus. Wow, dude, we've got like the meme dream team right now.
Yeah, no, there's so like, and then I memed Bison pretty hard, and everyone in chat flamed. Well, everyone in the cast flamed me, but
we didn't flame you. Like,
actual hardcore shout out to John though. John, you were like incredibly improved from like every previous game I've seen you play in.
I said it on the cast. That was the best performance that you've ever had, John. Not even.
And we'll just ignore my Merc Scimitar accidental presses like twice that game.
They never
I-
happened.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw him.
Yeah.
All right,
Just like it never happened that I rolled into that tower. Like,
No, that never happened.
We
do we
clipped
have any
that.
more
Yeah, we clipped
questions
it
from
already.
the casters? Any more caster questions? Think we're good to go?
The
I'm
only
good.
thing is, why did you prioritize Yorick over Misfortune then? For
This week
Adam.
For Adam.
oh, because Dr. Volamundo plays a good Yorick, and when we had blue side, we wanted to first pick it because Garrett also plays a good Yorick. So
I like it.
So we just felt like we could use a different ban when we were on blue side, like get a third ban in there for C-Van, as opposed to the red side where we had to just ban the Yorick away because we didn't want him to pick that.
Yeah, because y'all disrespected the bug game one.
Okay, listen. am I gonna have to report you for a third time?
I told him.
Oh god, what happened? Oh, we'll talk later. Anyway,
Great.
Dylan, you wanna close us out of here?
Please.
All right,
you guys
well,
close
I
that.
guess that is finally the end of Game 2. Quite the adventure we've had for our two teams, Gerg5 and Gimme That Ace. And as I have been joined here by Menbung, Guy Fieri, and the legendary Beef92, we are here to close this out. This is General Dill signing off.